All right, welcome to the next fitness show. This is Alexis. I am coming to you live right now. I'm in California, and you are here for episode 113. It is going to be an amazing show today. We're super lucky to have this special guest, which is a bit of a yeah, it's a surprise. We didn't really announce it. We're just kind of doing it, which is great. It's going to be fun. So, without further ado, our show today features our brand new team leader extraordinaire and back on the show for the second time, Eydie. Yay, welcome, Eydie. All right, Eydie, you could turn your video on, and there we go. Um, Eydie is our brand new team leader. She's also going to be leading the True Crime Walk this Sunday. So Anna's out right now. So we have our True Crime Walk on the first Sunday of every month. And Anna's out, and Eydie is going to be our amazing guest. So Eydie, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being our guest on the show. There you go.
Oh, it
You
was.
got all the things
Oh.
going, I think. Yay, welcome. All right. So, Edie, first of all, welcome back. Thank you for coming here and doing this. And also thank you for doing the true crime walk on Sunday. I really, really am so excited for that. I think a lot of our teammates are really, really excited for that. Um, Tell us a little bit like how'd you get roped into this and what's your plan?
So the very first time Anna and I were sharing information and just chit-chatting, we were talking about true crime. And it was funny because I've always liked true crime. Like I back in the day when I was in junior high, I would watch the stuff on TV about it, and they would, of course, they would sanitize it or whatever. But I was just obsessed with the person finding it. I loved thrillers. I loved everything, and I loved true crime stuff. And Anna did too. So we kind of um, shared that type of interest. And I always liked when you did find out who did it or whatever, even if it was 5 years later, 10 years later, 30 years later. I always like when they wrap it up. And I love now that because of technology and whatever, they are wrapping up cold cases and finding things. So my interest, I think, is mostly because I want the bad guys caught. I want the bad guys to
Ah,
fail. I want the bad guys to get what they deserve. That's
I
why.
see. So you love it because you have like a sense of justice around it.
Absolutely.
Okay, okay, awesome. And how did you get roped into doing this right now?
So during Anna's pregnancy and stuff, we were always chit chatting, whatever. And I said to her, if you need anything, just let me know. And being Anna, she didn't want to ask for help because she's very independent and she's very capable, whatever. But, sometimes you don't understand what it's like, that your whole life is going to change and this baby or whatever. So finally I said to her, I could do this. And she's like, yeah, I guess you could do it. And then, of course, I had to say to Alexis, boomer brain, talk me through the technology. I can do the other parts. Just help me with the tech. So between Anna doing what she does best and Alexis doing what she does best, I am their Frankenstein.
Okay, I love it. Nice. And we've been practicing the technology part, and you are doing amazing, so it's gonna be great. And I just think it's so funny. It honestly really warms my heart a lot to just feel into the relationships that you all have with each other, which of course that's the whole reason we're doing this in the first place. But just to understand more that like, you're not just interacting with Anna in class, you're actually having these conversations like outside of class. You have whole relationships with one another besides just working out together.
Yes, this is without a doubt a community. And I thank you every single time because I think it's a great community because we are of different ages, different backgrounds, different um, jobs, different everything, different parts of life. And yet we always come together to support one another in good times and bad. We share a love of books, even though we argue about them all the time. We share like, you know, bizarre interests and other things. Late night memes get sent to each other about, bizarre stuff we might have commented about or
Mhm.
whatever. And it's a community of people who you would think this is about fitness or well-being, but really it's a community about people who just care about one another and care about one another very much. And it's not a parasocial relationship, it's a real relationship. And that includes teasing each other and laughing with each other and also supporting each other and answering late night texts or something silly in the middle of the day, like, I know only you would know this because you're old. Okay, and yes, I would know it. So that's what happens. And it just makes me laugh, and I know it makes other people laugh, and it's fun to have this relationship.
What's a parasocial relationship?
When a parasocial relationship is like, if you're following somebody online, or you don't really
Yeah.
know the person, but you think that they're your friend because you see them online. So like, people will follow YouTubers or people on TikTok and they think they're really their friend, or like a sports person or a actor or something, and they think they're really your friend. No, you're not. You're not friends with them. You are just parasocial. You're not real, but you have kind of some interaction because they like a picture of yours, or you like a picture of theirs, or you make a
Right,
funny
right, right.
comment.
Like you feel
So,
like you
but
know them so well that you know them, but you don't really know them. You just know this persona they're putting on. It's a one-way thing. So even if you do kind of know them, they don't even know that you exist potentially.
right, they're not your friends. They're not your
Could you
friends. They're not really
can you have a
anything.
parasocial relationship with a fictional character?
I have many parasocial relationships with fictional characters because, I do. I really do. It's like, especially um, British ones. Like,
What?
I honestly think like half these characters, I'm like, we would really be really good friends if we were like, but it's just in my head to deal with, reality sometimes. But yes.
Okay, we have the chat is going off right now. This is great. Okay, mom says hi. My vision is really bad. I have to hold I can't my arm is not long enough anymore for me to hold the phone far enough away to read it. Megan says happy Friday. Aaron says hi. Donna D says hello. Um Mom says, "What's on the agenda for today?" And we don't know. That's the real answer is we don't know. We're just winging it. Aaron says, "Hi, Eydie." And Megan says, "Yes, Eydie." And Kelly says, "Eydie, yay!" Mom says the good guys should always win. And she also says she can hardly wait for the Sunday show. And Erin is agreeing with you and saying that we have the most supportive community. And Megan says, I'm sorry, we are friends. And mom says, yes, we are.
Yeah.
I have a feeling she's not talking about you. I have a feeling she's talking about whoever the parasocial relationship.
Well, she could be, and that's fine. I mean, you can honestly think, for you, Alexis, that Channing Tatum and you are like this. Um,
Yeah, sure, exactly,
and
totally.
if he met you, you two would just be sitting down having a cup of tea and, loving it.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing with that is if when some of these people, it's like a two-way street where like I mean, I can see this even in my maybe like younger version of myself in a romantic relationship with somebody who I follow on social, where they've been following me on social. So I have this idea of who they are based on what I've seen them post on social media, and they have this idea of who I am based on what they see me post on social media. And it's probably even worse for the younger kids right now because, like, I mean, I'm at the very, like, I didn't grow up with social media. It's something that's only
Either.
come about in my adulthood, right? But it gets so weird to have to try to break down this idea of who you think when you meet the person in real life, and you have this idea of who you think they are based on their persona online. And
And
anyway,
then
none of those relationships ever worked out.
no,
Like,
it didn't. And then, post COVID, people just had relationships online. Like,
right.
there's people who don't talk, they just text or they send things or do whatever. So it's pretty hard for people to not have parasocial relationships because it's become the norm, which is
Right.
crazy.
Right. Right. Totally. Okay, and Lisa B is in here saying that her robot that has a similar name to mine gave her a reminder, and then her phone jumped for police chase, and then it jumped back to this. Okay, well, there you go.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm curious for you because I know you call yourself Book Apothecary, and that's what we were talking about the last time. You came on the show before as a teammate. We were talking about your experience of exercise and that kind of thing. And now you're talking about you're going to be leading the true crime walk this weekend. So I'm curious because you do so much reading and you also are sort of a true crime buff, where you feel like the crossover is here and where like when you see some of these books that are, maybe a murder mystery or something like that, do they seem true to life of what would happen in true crime? When you see something
That's
happen in true crime, does it seem like something would happen in a book? I'd
I'm
love for you
very,
to talk
very
about that.
critical. I'm very, very critical. So occasionally I will read a nonfiction book on true crime of various sorts. So what just recently, a friend of mine was telling me that her husband was having some surgery and he only reads nonfiction. And so I gave her, a couple of books and she called me and she's like, oh my God, he likes everything that, you suggested. She goes, he doesn't like anything. I was like, oh, like life cereal. Mikey doesn't like anything, but likes life cereal. But I, so I am very picky. Like I will see a hole if there's a hole, like that doesn't make sense. Like there's no
Mm.
way a criminal would do that, or there's no way the police would do that. Although I am almost always shocked at the stupidity of some people who are very lazy when they're looking into a crime. Like they'll just like overlook something. Like, oh, that doesn't mean anything. Well, it clearly is a clue. Why are you not following that
Like
clue?
in real life?
Yes, in real life. And
Yeah.
I also do the same thing in books. I'm like, wait, is this a red herring or is this or is this that? So if and most of the time I can find out, I can figure it out. But there are times when I'm just like, oh, okay, they just slipped that in. That's okay.
What's like the most realistic fictional true crime? Or it's not true. What's the most realistic fictional like crime that you can think of?
I think probably anything that comes from Jonathan Kellerman. He's a psychologist and
Mm.
he worked with like troubled kids and stuff. And he writes about LA and crimes in LA. And I had family in LA, so I used to love when I was reading the book, like, oh, I know, oh, good, they're on the 101. I know exactly where they're going. I'd get all excited. But he writes the most realistic crime stuff because you could actually see that happening. So he's someone who I think is pretty good, and he doesn't like churn out like a million books. So he actually puts like detail and some research into it. So that's why I like him.
Yeah, what are these people do? Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but like these people who are churning out a million books, are they even writing that? Is it
No,
AI? They have a staff? Like what's
no,
happening with those
no.
people?
So because I have a ton of parasocial relationships with authors who I all think are my I follow them a lot, and I can tell who actually is writing and researching and doing, and who is churning this out. And you know that they have a million assistants, and they have them do all the work, and they just put it together. And you can now. I can actually see the difference. Like, James Patterson is putting out a book like every 3 months. Like, that's insanity. So, he'll say, oh,
Is
I have a
James
book.
Patterson still alive?
Not only is he still alive, I mean, he's actually not a bad guy, so I can't diss on him because he's very supportive of both teachers and of indie bookstores. So I can't really,
I understand. Yeah.
but he co-authors now with people. Well, basically they do everything. He changes a
Mm,
couple things and puts his name on it and becomes a big seller. But it's also
right.
very low level writing. It's like fifth, sixth grade level writing. So
Right. I mean, I feel like I, I have such mixed feelings about that. I mean, are you reading things that are fifth, sixth grade level writing?
So occasionally I will read a YA novel. Well, I used to read tons of YA novels when I was teaching, and
What's YA?
young adult.
Okay.
It's a whole genre. And I used to read a ton of it. Now I don't read as much, but occasionally I will read something from like someone who I like, or if someone, tells me to read it. And some of that is really well written and it's good, and other stuff isn't. Now, will I occasionally need a palate cleanser when I need something to not really think and just like read about, a meet cute and and then they fight about the dog or whatever. Yeah, occasionally I will do that. And that is never at a high level, like I never have to look up a vocabulary word. Let's put it that way.
Right. Right. Yeah, I feel like for me, it's been really interesting some of the books that I've been recently turned on to where I'm like, I think I could have read this in second grade.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I can understand that they're writing it to maybe appeal to a not necessarily younger crowd because it doesn't necessarily feel
Mm-mm.
like the target audience is younger. It's just the reading level it's like a simpler reading level. And I mean, maybe that is so that people don't have to think as much while they're reading, so you can just kind of breeze through it. I don't know.
Yes.
Is that
So
a
there's
strategy?
Yes, it is a strategy because there's people who will say, I read to escape, or I read to calm down, or I read only on the beach or on vacation. And so there's that type of reading. I think the good thing about reading is there is something for everyone, and you can
Right.
use it for a variety of things. You could obviously read it to learn or to be um, enjoyed, or to escape or whatever. And I have no problem with any genre. In fact, I was telling you the other day that I was teasing with Kathy, trainer Kathy, that I want a t-shirt that says genre fluid, because like I will read almost any genre. I don't stick in one lane, but I have friends who will only stick in one lane.
There's no genre that you don't really enjoy.
I don't love fantasy as much, and I definitely don't love science fiction as much. However, if someone says to me, this is really good, or you might really like some part of it, I will usually give it a go. I very rarely
Hmm.
DNF, which means do not finish a book. Very rarely.
That's what it means. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
DNF.
not what it meant
Yeah,
in my head. Okay.
but rarely,
Uh-huh.
rarely.
Interesting. Okay. And why do you think there's so much crossover between people, at least in our community, who like to work out and people who like to read?
I really think it. So, also back in like more nerdy days of mine, I did a lot of work with brain research and learning. And like, for instance, if you're good in math, sometimes you're really good in languages and whatever, because that's like the left side of your brain works differently, or your right side of the brain. I am such a solid middle brain person. It's sad. Like I follow everything middle brain. I'm not strong left or strong right. I'm probably more right in my brain. But I think when people read and people like to work out or care about wellness or whatever, it's about brain health as much as physical health. I think
Hmm.
people in our community um, are they're not in one lane. I think people in
Yeah.
our community are so broad in such an excellent way because they're so accepting of, oh, wait, I didn't know that. Oh, wait, tell me that, or that, or, oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. And a lot of that has to do with people who are readers. And I also think many of our walkers now listen to books instead of just like music or podcasts, which
Hmm.
again, everything is getting some more value into the brain as well as walking. So I think it's wellness on the brain level.
Yeah, I like that answer. I can really feel how it's like the way I feel about the people who are attracted to our community is like you want to have good healthy friends, good healthy fun kind of thing like that. And so it's all sort of aligned in that way. It's like, oh yeah, we like to work out and oh yeah, we like to read or whatever else kind of
Well,
thing. Cook too.
yes. I mean, listen, any of those things are healthier than doom scrolling. And that's the
Yeah,
and that's the
that's for
easiest
sure.
thing for any of us to do. So to get away from doom scrolling and to get away from, doing nonsense, we're doing something that's good for us and sharing it. And, I mean, every once in a while, do we send each other something that's nonsense? Absolutely. But most of the
Yeah,
time, like,
nonsense is healthy, good, healthy nonsense.
right. But it's like, oh, did you know this, that, that? But usually it's also something clever. It's something that you're like, oh, that's funny. That's really clever. So, that's always good too.
Right. Um, and I guess, what do you think? I mean, I mostly these days do audiobooks. Part of that is an eyesight thing for me. But what's your opinion in general of audiobooks? Do you listen to audiobooks? Is it
I
just as good for
have
you or not really?
have 100% changed how I think about it. I think, well, first of all, I'm a very visual learner and things stick with me more if I see them rather than hear them. I mean, you could tell me something four times, but you've seen me. I write everything down because I'm a visual
Hmm.
learner. I
Hmm.
have to see it and know about it. And I'm just very visual. So I have not jumped on the audiobook as much and rarely do it. However, my goal this summer is, because I do listen to a lot of podcasts when I walk, is to do some books, some podcasts, because I do like listening to podcasts. That's another way for me to learn. But I, for me personally, I don't do as much, but I applaud anyone and everyone who gets the information any way they can. And if that's
Sure.
audiobook, well done. Well done. And it also supports people who are the readers. I mean, the actual speakers and the actors who do that. So I'm all about supporting them and giving actors another way to make money. I mean, Cynthia Erivo read books for years and she became, this famous Broadway, and then she did Wicked and whatever. But you can hear her voice on things. So I'm all about supporting actors too.
I love it. Aaron says, first of all, there's definitely a difference of old James Patterson and new James Patterson. And she
Yes.
also says, audiobooks for me too. Sight issue, and I love to listen while I'm driving. For me too. When I'm driving, I've been doing a lot of driving in the past few years, so it helps me to, instead of listening to something like everything for me that comes up in even on YouTube, there's so many things complaining about what's going wrong. And so don't get me wrong, it's important to know what's going on, but I don't know, it doesn't feel healthy sometimes or just always hearing about everything that's going bad. And
Yeah, you can
so
be you can consume information, but you cannot be consumed by the information.
yeah, exactly. And so sometimes like if I can choose a book that I will have a little bit more um ability to set the vibe that I actually want to be in and learn and that kind of thing. So yeah. I will say it helps me for audiobooks where especially nonfiction, where it's a kind of book where it's a little maybe dry and I kind of want to absorb that information, but I don't really, it's not holding my attention enough to for me to like sit and concentrate on it if I'm not in a structured environment like school, right? Like if I was taking a class on the subject of that book, I could probably study it and I would have my highlighter out and take notes and prepare for the test or whatever and I would learn it. But for me to just read that book, it's like but I want to absorb that information. So for me, I'll put the book on while I'm doing something else. So I'm only sort of tangentially paying attention to it. And then it soaks in basically. And I sometimes have to listen to it more than once, or I have to kind of do a few different things to get that information. But that's like how I learned about cryptocurrency was basically just letting that information soak in until I could speak the language of it enough to understand what was going on.
But I
So,
think that's great. I mean, if you know anything about learning, I always would write the instructions on the board as well as say it so they can see it, say it, remind themselves.
right,
I think
right,
multiple modalities is how it actually sinks in.
right. Yeah, I can totally see that, and I can see how people who have this teaching skill have such an ability to convey information and help it people to absorb that information, not just in a classroom, but in so many places. It's such a great skill. So, okay, how do you see the skill of teaching translating into leading the like walking classes or whatever else? What can you
I
see?
think I've come to the realization that you can't take the teacher out of the, you just can't. Once you're a teacher, you're a teacher. It's what, no,
Uh-huh.
whatever it is, I break it into small bits, whatever it is. I will find multiple ways to say it. If someone doesn't understand it, no matter what it is, I will repeat. No matter what it is, I will find a way to do it, because my goal was always to make sure people understand or make sure people buy in. And
Mm.
I don't see that being any different than that. Although now I could just use a little more adult humor, maybe.
Yeah, right, exactly. It can be like a little bit more PG-13 plus instead of,
Right.
I don't know, what would you say that your classroom was?
So
Rated
I
PG?
once had a principal say to me, you use a lot of sarcasm in class. And I go, really? She was like, I go, that's how the kids would like. I mean, I taught behavior disordered junior high kids. So I mean, I had, eighth grade boys with big old attitudes. So when they would say something to me, I would always say to them, what about this? Do you think is believing you? And they'd be like, nothing. I'm like, right. So I would use sarcasm all the time. So I was very sarcastic. And and the other thing is, if the kids got in trouble, I would tell them all the time, just be honest. And if you can make me laugh, you won't get in as much trouble. And I had some great comedians, and I would, I mean, there would be times literally I would be laughing so hard, mascara would be running down my face, and the kids would be like, well, I'm not getting in any trouble. No, you're not getting in any trouble because you really made me laugh and you were honest. And so I would tell them that's a life skill. Don't piss people off, make them laugh, and be honest.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right. Honesty is an amazing skill, really. I mean, it takes courage to be honest.
And that's what I do tell them. Yeah.
Yeah. So since you have such an expertise with middle schoolers, what do you see in these criminals of this true crime genre that you can learn about them in middle school? Can you tell who's going to be a criminal when they're in middle school?
100%. I could always identify who I would be seeing in the papers with their name and what they 100%. I could always tell. I could always tell. And a lot of criminals now, especially in true crime stuff, they're very arrested in their junior high development. They're all like seventh grade. They
Right.
think like seventh grade boys. They act like seventh grade boys. The girls. So believe it or not, the girls were always better criminals, a little more devious, definitely more hardcore than the boys always. So you had to use a
Right.
lot of mind tricks with the girls more.
Right. It's like with the girls, they're really
Mm.
plotting and thinking it through, where the guys are kind of a little bit more reactive and just doing the thing and then trying to figure out what to do
It's funny,
afterward.
butt stuff. Okay, what are you talking about? Yeah, yes. Whereas girls,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. I just heard some statistic of like I don't know, it was like something like it was more than 50%. When someone gets murdered, it's like more than 50% of the time. If it's a woman who gets murdered, it's her husband. And if it's a man who gets murdered, it's like less than 3% of the time that it is the wife. But they're not accounting for if you hired someone to kill them.
Right. Well, that would be the smart thing to do. Right. Exactly. My joke among my friends are, if you're a really close friend of mine, you can call me at any time and tell me to bring a shovel, and I got it. I got you. I will help.
Right. Well, it's one thing to bring the shovel to cover up the crime. It's another thing to
Well, you never
bring the
know.
murder
Not
weapon in the
fully
first
dead.
place.
You never know. But no, it.
Well, that's a good point.
No, I think reading about true crime and knowing about true crime, it also helps keep you safe. And maybe this is only good for me and your mom. So Lana, I'm talking to you. But when you're older, you've got to be more careful because they see
Yeah.
you as an easy mark. And
Yeah,
I always say that would be your first mistake in assuming that, I'm just a little old lady. So don't assume that.
right. Okay, what are you into with your workouts these days?
So, because I've been having a couple little issues and stuff, I've been trying to do more stretching stuff because I'm really not good at that. So I'm forcing myself to do that more.
Okay.
I'm going to try to get back into bar because I think I'm almost ready. I've gotten a couple blisters on my feet, so with walking and some other stuff, so I'm solving that issue, hopefully. And so I'm hoping to get back into bar stuff because I really enjoy that. And I am probably going to check out a little bit with the TRX because I always thought TRX was interesting.
Cool. Yep. And what are your intentions for the summer?
So my intentions every summer are one to make sure. So I have a very whimsical garden. Okay, it's very whimsical. Um, as you know, I live in an HOA, and they like beige and whatever. And
Are you still
I'm
HOA president?
oh hell yes. So yes,
Madam
yes.
President, yes.
So yes, so I have a very whimsical garden. So I like to keep that going, and I like to um, enjoy the outside as much as I can because in Chicago you never know what's going on with weather. So as much as humanly possible, I like to be outside. I like to see friends. I've been doing a lot of live theater with my friends and doing just a lot of fun things that are around town that you can do in the middle of the week or whenever you want because it's summer and that's what we do.
Yeah, that's the best. All right, awesome. Anything else that you want to share?
So the only thing that I want to share with everyone is understand that me jumping into this is another leap of faith. Never confine yourself into just like, okay, this is where I am now. This is where I am now. Just jump in, see what you can do, have a good time, laugh a lot, snicker a little, do it.
Yeah, you have a really good attitude about that. And um I will say Edie has been really willing to just go for it, where there have been others, people in the past where they prepare and prepare and prepare to make it perfect, to make it ready. And I'm practice and I practice and I practice and I practice and I practice. And Edie's kind of like, I know I can, and I know too that Edie can carry it. Like, clearly Edie can carry the experience. And so the tech is sort of the learning part. I'll be there to kind of support it. And we're going to keep it simple this first time while Edie does this without dealing so much with music and graphics and everything. But that's not going to make any difference because obviously you don't need music and graphics to back you up. You're larger than life as it is. It's true. Um, Mom says whimsical garden,
Yes.
radishes and gladiolas.
anything
And
anything bright colored, Lana, and I have lots of like um little troll things in places so if kids
oh,
walk by they can see things and just nothing makes sense. Okay, I'm not a sensible gardener. I just put it there 'cause I like it.
okay. I like it. I like it. All right. On that note, it is time for a stretch break. Let's do it. Edie chose the stretches today. So today's stretch break, I encourage you all to actually do the stretch. The stretch today features Kathy, and we have seated, wide leg, forward fold. All right, Edie, why did you choose this one?
So sometimes I have a little hip issue or whatever, and this actually is the best. And I also think for flexibility's sake, it's wonderful. So right now her feet are flexed. I like flex feet and I like pointed feet. I think you get different stretches from both. Going to each side, going to the middle. I just feel that that loosens up just about everything on your lower body.
Yeah, I love this one too because it's really good for a hip opener. At the same time, you're getting hamstrings and it can help to release your lower back. The tip that I would give for this is it's what you really want to do here is bring your belly button toward the ground. So it's not so much about trying to get your nose to the floor as hinge your hips forward with your legs wide and rotate your hips forward so that your belly button comes to the ground. So in order to do that, it's actually fairly challenging, especially for people who have hip mobility issues. So if that's you, I would suggest sit on something. Try sitting on a pillow. Try sitting on a yoga block. Whatever works, but it could be a folded up blanket. But sit up on something so it elevates your hips a little bit and it'll help you to be able to keep your lumbar spine, so your lower back, it'll be able to keep it the natural arch in your lumbar spine so that it doesn't round forward and prevent your hips from rotating the way that we want them to. The other thing I would say with this, I like how you mentioned the flex and the point of the toes. I would say the tip that really has helped me with this is instead of thinking of going down, picture reaching out.
Yes.
So it's like you're thinking of reaching your feet out to the opposite walls, like you're reaching through your heels or maybe through your toes or both, and you're reaching your legs as far away from one another as you can. And at the same time, as you hinge forward, you think of reaching your head out through the top of your head and out through your tail at the same time so that you're creating length in both directions. And that is going to bring you more benefit of this stretch than just like, all right, and now I slump forward. Even if
Yeah.
you don't go as far, it's not about how far you go into the thing. Cool. All right. So I hope you guys actually did this wide leg forward fold. I'd love to hear your perspective or anything that you love or hate about this one. Um, I will say that when I was a little kid taking dance class, the splits was always so hard for me. It was always so hard. I could never really get it. All the other girls in dance class were like, the splits. And I'm like, you know? And I don't know, there's just something about the middle straddle where that just felt so much more accessible. And a lot of times, even when you're seeing people do it, like you can create an optical illusion of, I have the splits. If you can get the straddle forward fold so that your legs come forward instead of out, and it looks like you have the splits, even if you don't.
Mhm.
All right, we are moving forward into the move of the week. All right, Edie also chose the move of the week this week. And the move of the week this week is tricep extension. All right, Edie, why did you choose tricep extension?
Okay, so any of us who maybe don't have great arms and you really want to look better, this probably does more than almost anything else as far as being able to change your arms so they don't look like they're blowing in the wind when you're
I
waving.
see. I see. Okay, so you like this one for the results you get. I have
Absolutely.
heard so many funny things of like, the droopy part under your arm. I've heard bat wings. I heard shower curtains. I mean so many things of what people, if you have a funny name for your like the saggy bottom part of your arm, I definitely want to hear that. I think it's hilarious. I agree with you that tricep extension is really helpful in this way. I also like this one, this version, because there's so many tricep extensions. You could do tricep kickback, you could do skull crusher, lying on your, like there's different ones. Um, this one is really good for shoulder mobility. So if especially, let's say you want to be able to reach back and do your hair or take off a necklace or whatever else you might do behind your head, behind your back. This one is going to help you retain access to that mobility, which for a lot, especially women, is a thing. Losing that as you get older and and the potential of getting frozen shoulder is a thing. So this one can be helpful
And if
if
any
you.
of you are like lifting kids or grandkids or whatever, you have no clue how this really helps strength. It just really helps.
Totally. I will also say that if you already have frozen shoulder, do a kickback instead. So kick it back and maybe keep working on mobility, or you can do this with just something light or no weight and work on the mobility to keep the access to it.
So one of the things,
Um,
it's funny that you're saying that with no weight, because a lot of times if I'm sitting in a chair outside, I will do it with no weights and just do it in a chair just to give myself a little opener.
yeah, nice. Just like activation kind of thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. As far as the form considerations here, I think the most important thing is the head. It's so easy on this one to tilt your head forward. And you can even see Veronica do it, like right there at the very beginning, her head goes forward. And so the key to the tricep extension behind the head is to keep your eyes forward the whole time. And notice if you're tilting your head forward. Do your best to really keep your abs engaged so you're not arching your back, because sometimes the head forward and the back arch to be able to get into that position is such a thing. So abs engaged and neutral spine is key. Yep. All right. Awesome. And that is our move of the week. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. We have announcements, and the first announcement is something we've already been talking about. So Eydie is leading True Crime Walk on Sunday. Anything you want to tell us about this True Crime Walk on Sunday, Eydie?
Yes, I think Anna did a great job in picking this because it's Pride Month, and this has a little
Mm,
component of that. And it's also a good one because there are some, how can I say this, false roads that they go down before they solve it. And
nice. It's got
and
twists and turns.
it does. And they do end up finding, there is a good solution to it, but it's not a clear road.
Nice. It sounds like a great one. That's exciting. All right, cool. That's fun. The URL. So this class is actually open to people if you don't have a Next Fitness Thing membership. So if you wanted to invite a friend, or if you're watching this and you don't have a membership, you can come to this. You go to the nextfitnessthing.com/true crime, and you can find all the previous episodes there as well. We do this once a month on the first Sunday of the month. And it's just $5 to join if you wanted to join and you don't have a membership. So that's significantly cheaper than the membership is, and you can just join for this one thing. Plus, then you just get a taste and see if you even like it anyway. Cool. Okay. So join Eydie. It's at 1 p.m. Pacific on Sunday, and it's going to be a great time. I know that lots of teammates are coming. This is Eydie's debut as a team leader. We're all excited for it. Yay. Okay. And other announcements. We just finished the Flower Power 5K. Congratulations to everybody who completed the Flower Power 5K. Eydie, did you complete the Flower Power
I
5K?
did it, loved it.
Nice. So I just want to give a little reminder here. I would love to tell everyone, go check out your results. And only a couple of people actually sent in the results, so make sure you send in your results. Go back to the nextfitnessthing.com/flower power 5K, and there is a button there that says submit your results. So go there and let us know how far did you go, whether it's a 5K or not. Let us know what modality did you do? Did you walk? Did you run? Were you on an elliptical machine? Did you roller skate? You're in a wheelchair. What did you do? How far did you go? What was your pace? What was your time? All right, because we want to be able to post it up for you so that we can celebrate you. And also because we are going to have more 5Ks, and that way you can go back and find your previous results so that that way it helps to motivate you for future ones as well. All right, moving on. Our next challenge, guess what? Signups are up. As of today, signups are up for our TRX challenge. It is called Stronger Together with TRX. The URL is thenextfitnessday.com/TRX. And we're starting on June 15th. So it's not this Monday, it is the following Monday. Sign up now, and members get a discount. And yeah, I'm super excited about it. This is really, I am excited not only to share TRX with all of you, because TRX is something that I have always loved so much. And on some level, I don't know, it was partially my relationship to TRX and partially just me, but I kind of felt like I wasn't allowed to do TRX with you guys.
Hmm.
And I explicitly went to TRX and said, "Hey, I really want to do this and I want your blessing and I want to make it official." And so we're good with doing this. So that's awesome. It makes me really happy. And so I encourage you to come. I'm going to be doing this entire challenge with you, rep for rep, doing the workouts with you. I also have been working on my tech setup to make it better than ever for Trainer Takeover, which is a bit of an experiment. So thank you for everyone who's been to Trainer Takeover classes in the past couple of weeks as I'm figuring out what's good. But Eydie, did you mention you've done TRX a little bit
I
before?
have. I really enjoy it. In fact, don't forget to tell people that you're going to give a discount. You have a code for that. So those of us who want to order something.
Thank you for that. So there's a couple ways you can get the discount. One is with this URL that I will link, and the other way to get the discount is um you could use this QR code if you want to use that in order to get in. And the other thing is, if you go on the website and you don't use any of these codes, you can just use the coupon code at the checkout and you'll get 15% off. So it's TRX15 Alexis, and then you get 15% off, and it's off of straps. It's off of, I believe it's off your entire shopping cart. So if you, I mean, I don't know, you never know what you might want to get on there, but I would say we went over this a little bit and we've been going over this in the Wednesday and Friday classes of how to anchor it and understand everything. But just make sure you know where you're going to put it. I think that part's pretty important. You can use a door and you can pretty much use any door as long as you have room right next to the door to do a little bit of movement. But if you wanted to anchor it like to the ceiling or if you wanted to bolt it to the wall or something, it comes down like the actual straps come down very easily, but the mount is going to be permanently affixed if you do that, and you could buy that at the website as well. I did link a couple of websites of how to anchor into all of these materials so that you can see it. There's one in the emails, there's one on the handouts. I have it in a bunch of places. So if you need help anchoring, I'm here to help you. Okay, so if you want to sign up for TRX, it is thenextfitnessthing.com/TRX. Cool. Okay. Also, on June 21st, we are going to have a summer solstice celebration. And that is a Sunday. It is the actual day of summer solstice. So that will be our community event for the month of June is the summer solstice celebration. Um, and the following Sunday, so we have a lot of Sunday things coming up in June. The following Sunday is our book club for June, which is led by Casey. And this, do you know how to say this,
Yes,
Eydie?
it's the House of the Cerulean Sea. I just finished it. It's
Cerulean is how you say
Cerulean,
that?
and
Oh,
it's a little fantasy, but not like so much so that like if you don't like fantasy, you will still enjoy it because it's very character driven and it's really, really sweet. And I really think it was a good choice.
great. All right. So, at least I would suggest if you're interested in finishing this book in time, it start to source the book and start finding it at least, if not start reading. We have links to the book on in several locations, including Libby and bookshop.org and an audiobook and all the things at thenextfitnessthing.com/book club. All right. And I think that might be it. Yep. Join the Discord. Make sure you're in the Discord, especially if you're joining challenges, because we always have discussion topics going on in Discord. Also for Goals Walk, you're going to want it for that as well. Oh, Megan says, I'm about halfway through the book club book. Very good. All right, cool. All right, and now, Eydie, this is your chance to give a random tip. If you want to give a tip or a product or anything else that you might want to share with us, this is your chance. What do you
Now,
got?
here's something that I've been very curious about and I'm about to try. Haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to try it for sure. Have it in the works to do it. I'm going to be trying beef tallow on my skin. It has tons of really interesting benefits, and I figure can't hurt. So that's what I'm looking for and looking at.
All right. Interesting. Interesting. Has anybody tried this? I can only say the only times I've tried tallow is um Alice, who was on the show once before. She's like a she has a biophilia botanica. It's like she basically makes essential oils and stuff from scratch from her garden, and she makes perfumes in tallow. And so she made a perfume from flowers and she made it in tallow, and I would use that like on my skin, and it stays around for a really long time compared to like perfume that you would spray on or something like that. So that's my only real experience with putting tallow on my skin. It definitely felt like a balm. It kind of felt like almost like beeswax or
Yeah.
something.
I think that the thing that I'm reading the most is most of the stuff that we put on our face, like moisturizer or whatever, doesn't stay on very long. It
Right.
seeps in quickly. So this is supposed to stay on longer. And like I was saying to Alexis, I don't know that I would do it at night because I think it would really mess up all my pillows and everything. But so it might be an afternoon thing when it's raining like it is today and no one's gonna see me.
Okay, you're gonna use it like a mask kind of more.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, I've been putting really oily things on my skin at night. I've been putting castor oil on my face, and I put castor oil on my hands too, and things like that at night. But if anybody else in the chat has any suggestions of how to do this, definitely pass that along. Okay, if I do the castor oil on my face at night, I'm basically using a specific pillowcase where that's like a trash one basically, where it's like okay for it to get wrecked, and I have to make sure my hair is up. And then I also ideally have something covering my hair because otherwise I'm gonna smear it all over my pillow and then my hair is gonna get smeared all over my pillow too. So maybe like a sleeping cap or bonnet or something like that. So it's like that's on my face plus hair up plus bonnet over the top and special pillow in order to put that on. And to put on my hands, I have to put gloves over in order to sleep too. Yeah, so mom says, one of her YouTube friends, Brett, what's the relationship you called?
Parasocial.
One of mom's parasocial relationships advertises it all the time. Yes, totally.
Well, if Lana's parasocial person says it, it's got to be true.
Yeah, and I think that she's like 26 years old, so you know that she really needs the
All right.
skincare. I think it's amazing. Like, I didn't start thinking about skincare until I was like already had wrinkles, right? I was already at least 30 before I mean, I put sunblock on or something to not get sunburned, but that's about it, you know? And then it's like the kids now, there's like, I literally know 11-year-olds with a full-on moisturizer
Oh,
routine for morning and evening. Like,
they're
what?
very very into it. I have a couple preteens and teens in my life that are very into it and who will frequently tell me what I'm doing isn't right or what I have to do differently. And whenever we're together, they're like, "Let's face mask." Oh, okay, we'll face mask. Okay.
Okay, I mean, I don't know, mixed feelings on that. I feel like from the perspective of like self-care, it's like great. From the perspective of this person's a victim of marketing and somebody just sold them 15 products, I'm just like, oh geez.
That's the truth. They say that the biggest customers at Sephora are between 11 and 15.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
I mean, were you wearing makeup between 11 and 15?
Oh God, no, no. I listen here. I'm going to date myself. Lana will understand this. Getting Bonnie Bell lip gloss was like my
Right.
thing. That was it. And then in eighth grade for like graduation stuff, I wore Maybelline blue eyeshadow.
Oh, cool. Blue
Attractive.
eyeshadow. Very
Yeah,
nice. So
there
like, and where would you buy it?
at the drugstore.
Right. Exactly. Right. And like, I mean, how much is Bonnie Bell lip
Oh
gloss?
my God, it was like $1 or something, but I just thought it was like the coolest thing ever.
Right, exactly. It's like, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. I have it somewhere right here. Oh, here. Literally, this is what I use on my lips. It's beeswax. That's it. Yeah, I'm really with you. I heard you say that you've been reading the ingredients on your products that are in your I don't know, what's it called? Like all of your products and just noticing what's in them and becoming a lot more conscious of that. And it sounded like that's why you're interested in the tallow is because it's simple. It's just like one natural thing instead of it being a bunch of chemicals.
Exactly. Yes. So, yes, I'm trying to dechemicalize myself.
Yes, dechemicalize. I'm with you for that. Let's dechemicalize. Anyone else? All right. Mom says, oh, with black eyeliner though. With the
I did
you
not
do
wear
black
black.
eyeliner with the blue?
Well, yes, they did it later. I did not do that till much later. I was, then I was like hippie. I'm not doing any makeup. I am what I am. Take me how I am. Whatever.
Donna D says I only wore makeup for dance recitals. That's kind of how I was. I never really wore makeup to school. It would only be like for dance that I would wear makeup. And a lot of times the makeup that we'd have to wear for dance would stain your face. And so then the day after you'd have a dance competition or something, you'd have like stained red and like black because it was still on from the dance performance. Yep. All right. I guess that brings us to the end. Thank you, Eydie, for being here. Thank you for just being so much fun and being up for anything and for covering for Anna. We all appreciate it and we love you and we can't wait to see what happens next.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
All right. All right. We're bringing the music.
Ready to
Let's
be
do it.